and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I had a little break, but I'm back and I'm so happy to be back and so excited to be making videos again. I've got a whole list of things that I want to film, so this week is going to be pretty busy. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you do. And let's get into it. So I've decided for this video, I really wanted to just chat with you guys, give you a little update, tell you what I've been up to the last month and why I've stopped uploading, and tell you like what kind of content you can expect from me. But I didn't want to sit down and make it a bit boring, so I thought I'll make cake pops whilst I do it. So hence the title. So this is a cake pop. It's basically a cake that's been crumbled up and mixed with buttercream and put in the fridge so that it creates this like thick, spongy, creamy cake pop. Now, all the cake pops I have had have been super dry and I just thought that was a thing, but this recipe is absolutely not that. It is so moist and moreish and wrapped in chocolate as well. It's going to be amazing. But this base is actually dairy-free. I'm making it dairy-free, so all you have to do is just substitute the dairy things that I'm using with real butter. But yeah, this is what we're making today, and we're going to dip them in chocolate. Again, you can just dip them in dairy-free chocolate if you want it to remain dairy-free. But yeah, let's make it. So, first things first, we are going to weigh the butter. The recipe calls for 100 grams of butter, but I'm going to do 118. Oh, okay, 120. So 120. So the important thing to remember about this is if you do substitute it or if you do go a bit higher, that's fine. What you then have to do is match out the rest. So I've got 120 of butter here, which means I need to use 120 grams of caster sugar and 120 grams of self-raising flour. So whatever you weigh your butter as, the rest has to follow. That's pretty standard when baking a sponge cake. So yeah, why I came off social media for a bit. So, health-wise, I haven't been great, I'm not going to lie. I have had a hard month, and I don't know what it's related to. I don't know if it's because my periods have been a bit all over the place, and therefore my body is a bit all over the place. I don't know, but I have really struggled this month, and to be honest, having that time off social media has actually been so nice. Okay, so I've got caster sugar, butter in here. So I'm going to whip those together so that they're nice and soft. So that they're soft and fluffy, as all the bakers say. Okay, so I've cut that out. This is all soft and creamy now. So this is 2 utensils for baking that I cannot live without. First is my cranked palette knife. It's absolutely amazing. I can't live without it. I use it so much. I use it for cooking as well, to be fair. And then my spatulas. I have so many spatulas. But yeah, baking, it's absolutely an essential. So as you can see here, butter and sugar is completely softened and creamy. So now I want to add my eggs and my vanilla. So this vanilla is absolutely my favourite vanilla I've ever used. It's a vanilla bean extract. So extract just means it's stronger than essence. If you get vanilla essence, it tends to be predominantly water and alcohol, and a tiny bit of vanilla, whereas extract tends to be a higher quantity of vanilla bean, and obviously depending on how much you spend, depends on how good a quality it is. It's expensive. It's about £6 for one of these, but I mean, I bake all the time and it lasts me ages, and because of the strength of it, you don't need anywhere near as much as you would if you were using a cheaper one. So this, I just need half a teaspoon, and again, I would use more if I was making it a vanilla base, but I'm not, I'm making it chocolate. 2 large eggs, so I'm going to crack these in one at a time and mix them up in between adding. So now all my eggs and my vanilla is in here. The mixture's gone a little bit curdled, but that's totally fine, do not fret. And now we need to add our self-raising flour. So obviously I've put in 120 grams of butter and sugar, so I need to put in 120 grams of dry ingredients. But If I was making this just vanilla, I would put 120 of pure self-raising in, but I'm making them chocolate. So I'm going to put in 100 grams of self-raising flour, and then I'm going to put in 20 grams of cocoa powder. Last but definitely not least, I'm going to add some salt. Now, salt in baking is important because it balances out the flavours, but especially when using chocolate, salt is vital because what it does is it doesn't make it salty, it just makes it so much more chocolatey. It draws out the chocolate. So I'm going to add a pinch of salt into the mix as well, and then mix it up. So something else that I need to update you on, which is pretty exciting, is Josh and I started viewing houses recently. So we decided after the government, if you watched my last video, the government released 5% deposit scheme, and I mentioned that in our last video, to say that we aren't going to leave our flat, we're going to stay here until we buy a house. Because it became more real and more feasible for us. And I mean, that video I posted a month ago, and a month later we put an offer on a house and it's been accepted, and we're now going through the process of solicitors and mortgage advisors and mortgage brokers and applying for mortgages. All this sort of stuff. So yeah, very exciting. A lot has happened in the last month, and Josh and I are super excited about it. Okay, so now we've got our batter. It's all done. It's all chocolatey and all delicious. I'll show you on screen now. This is the tray I'm using. Now, something else that's important to remember when making cake pops is you're going to crumble the mixture up. So it doesn't really matter how you cook it because it's going to turn into crumbs. So I'm just using my, probably like a brownie tray. Perfect for making brownies or millionaire shortbread. That's the kind of thing I use it for. I'm literally going to spray it all over. I'm absolutely not going to bother with baking parchment, but you totally can if you want to. I think if you use baking parchment, it will reduce the crispiness of the edges. And if you want a finer crumb in your cake pop without like crunchy bits, then yeah, totally grease proof it. But to be honest, we had some crunchy bits in it yesterday and Josh and I really like them. So I'm going to leave it like this, spray all the edges, and pour in our batter. So this is going to go in the oven now on 170 degrees for around 20 minutes. And then we need to leave it on the side to cool down completely. And then we'll make our buttercream. Okay, I'm back. My cake is out of the oven and it's almost cool. The buttercream, we're not making a ton of it because obviously we only need it for mixing with the crumbed cake. So we're not like icing anything, it's literally just something to soften the sponge. So we're going 75 grams of butter. If you're using normal butter, I would say whisk this up now just until it's soft and fluffy. I'm using dairy free, so it's pretty soft and fluffy anyway. To this, we're going to add 150 grams of dry ingredients. So we're going to do 140 of icing sugar and 10 grams of chocolate cocoa powder. And I'm going to put a dash of vanilla in as well. A pinch of salt again to bring out the chocolate. Okay, so spatula, just go around the edges like so. It's not a ton of icing, so do not worry. We're obviously not trying to ice a cake. We're literally just trying to bind together the sponge. So we don't need a ton of icing. This is a perfect amount. So I've got my sponge here. So I just need to take this out. And hopefully, because it's been grease proofed, yeah, comes out nice and easily. It's a little bit on the bottom, but I mean, I literally have just lifted that out. The only thing I did do is when it came out of the oven, I slid a knife along all the edges of it and then left it to cool. So now it's come out really easily. So if you don't want any crunchy bits in it, you can trim all the edges off of the cake so that you don't get any like thick crunchy bits in it like that. But to be honest, I really liked them. I'm gonna just do this now. I'll speed it up so you can see what I'm doing. Take your buttercream, which we have in a bowl here, and you want to scrape the bowl out and just dump all of it into the bowl with your cake crumbs. Once all your icing is in there, you literally, this is a messy bit, but you want to mix it all up and squeeze it all in. So you may have to squeeze your hands like this into the mixture just to make sure it's fully combined. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. So if you look now, you should be able to form a dough with it like this, and it stays together. That's kind of the texture you're going for. Where have you been?
For a walk.
Oh, nice.
Went to Costa.
Did you?
Got a granola pot with oat milk.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Promise?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know you weren't here.
Yeah. Thanks.
I need a baking tray like this, and I've got some greaseproof paper. And we're just going to place our greaseproof paper on this tray because we need to pop these in the fridge. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've just put some greaseproof paper on my stainless steel tray. I love these stainless steel trays. I highly recommend them. They are in one of my Amazon videos. If you want to check one of them, check it out. I will link it up here. But yeah, I love them. So good. And I will be buying more of them probably because I love them. Okay, so these are going in the fridge. Okay, so all my sticks are in my cake pops now, so I'm going to pop them in the fridge again. So leave them in the fridge for a few minutes just to really harden that chocolate that we've put inside the cake pop, and then we'll come back to this. Let's give it a go. So we're going to take a cake pop and we're just going to dip in and let the chocolate drip off. Like the bottom, and place it back on the greaseproof. So this is all done. In an ideal world, I'd be going to buy some more chocolate right now, but I'm not going to. So I've got two here that are perfect, so I'll use those for the thumbnail. Otherwise, I would recommend getting around 250 to 300 grams of chocolate just to make sure you have enough to dip them all. But otherwise, enjoy. It's been really nice to film again and be back. I'm so excited to be back. And I can't wait to edit this and upload it and to be in contact with you all again. So thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you did. And I'll see you soon. Bye.